Heading to Wild Horse Pass Casino, Chandler, Arizona. Alright, we're at Wild Horse Pass Casino, Chandler, Arizona. Back to my old stomping grounds. Can't play no limit here in Arizona. It is a fixed limit. So the 2-100 game is 1-2 blinds with a 100 max bet. Or a 2-200, 1-2 blinds, or 2-2 blinds actually, with a 200 max bet. There's no all-ins, but that's okay. Alright, so let's jump in. Okay, so we're going to go over some hand histories over here at Wild Horse Pass. Alright, so typically the opening raises have been anywhere between 5 to 8x to get the action started. So anywhere from $10 to $15 have been the opening raises. And sometimes there's a lot of limpers, and the opening raises don't change much regardless of how many limpers are in the pot. So that's the action that we're running into here. The first hand I'm going to go over, I'm actually under the gun, so I'm first to act. Obviously, I'm under the gun. You already know that. First hand we'll go over, I'm under the gun. I look down at pocket nines. I go ahead and raise it up to $11 to get it started. It folds around, and the small and big blind both call. The flop comes out Jack 6-8 rainbow. Both players check. I go ahead and put a bet out there of $15. Kind of see where they're at. I mean, no telling. Both the blinds, maybe with an 8 in their hand, they may continue. Something like a queen 10 could continue, especially if I got the blockers. That would be great. So yeah, there's a range of hands that probably could. And I'm betting about half the pot, maybe a little bit much as they both decide to fold, but I had to kind of see where we're at a little early in the game. So this is within the first orbit of the game here for me. So we take that one down, and you know, I think we're okay here. There could be some overs there. See another card they hit the way this game's been going. So I want to make them at least pay for hitting at this point in time, and that's probably a good strategy based on what happens a little bit later. Spoiler alert. About an orbit later, we're in the big blind. There's two limpers. I look down at ace jack. We go ahead and raise it up to $15 here. The first limper calls. The second limper goes all in for $75. The first limper has about 250 effective. Typically, the limp raise has been pretty strong from what I've seen, at least at this game here. So I just go ahead and let it go. It will live to fight another day. The other limper does call. And we get to see the flop turn on the river at least. No ace, no help to us, so it was a good fold. And the player that limp reshoved had pocket queens, and he takes that one down. So it was a good lay down by us. Yeah. Okay, about another orbit later, we look down at pocket jacks. We're under the gun once again. We make the opening raise to $11. Stay consistent here. Folds around, small blind makes the call, big blind folds, and we're off to a flop of king 10-7. Small blind bets out on this flop of $15. I go ahead and make the call. It's possible, yeah, he has a king, it's possible he has a 10. You know, just about anything. So we go ahead and make a call, see what happens on the turn. Turn comes a 3, kind of uneventful, and the small blind checks. So we go ahead and make a bet of $30, and the small blind quickly calls. Now the river is an ace. So I really don't like this card. I mean, he could be floating with any type of ace-queen hand. A lot of ways that he could hit here, and our jacks are no good. He goes ahead and checks the river, though, and I just check behind. Let's go ahead and show my jacks right away, and he mucks his card. So I guess I probably should have seen what he had. And I just, you know, I want to hurry up the game. Let's just keep playing. So I just showed my jacks, and he mucked. So a few hands later, we're on the button. 3 limpers to me. We look down at ace-jack, and we raise it up to $16. Folds around to the hijack who makes the calls. The flop comes out ace-jack 4. He checks. He has about 54 behind. We make a bet of $20. I figure we're going to either get him in now or, you know, we'll just take the pot down. So make the bet of $20. He quickly goes all in for 54. We make the call. I turn my hand over right away. Show the 2 pair, ace-jack, and he holds on to his cards. The turn comes a 10. The river comes a king. And he looks for a minute, he looks at it, and then he says, oh, I got the straight, and he shows his queen jack. So he shoved all in with second pair and a decent kicker and hit his runner. So yeah, you know, it's gonna happen. That's okay. And He says, well, I'd rather be lucky than good. And yeah, we want people to make those calls. Two other instances, actually I don't have footage of. Twice, looked down at Pocket Kings, make a raise. He comes along, one he hits the straight again on the river, and the other one he hits the flush on the turn. He bet out, I actually let that one go, and he showed his ace deuce of diamonds. So, you know, I made a good fold. It's not that he was a terrible player. He was getting the cards. He was calling stations, calling stations, calling stations. He was getting the cards. He was getting the cards. He was calling stations. It's not that he was a terrible player. Calling stations. He was getting the cards. He was... Well, that's all right. We'll get this going. Okay, so we end up moving tables. We go to a new table, and one of our very early hands there, we're in the big blind. We have King 10 offsuit. There's two limpers, middle position and a button, both limp. And the small blind comes along as well. So we just go ahead and check our options, see a flop. Flop comes out Queen Jack 4, so a pretty good flop for our hand, right? We go ahead and, the small blind checks, we go ahead and bet out at this. We bet 12 bucks. There's three other people in the pot, so we're open-ended. Let's just thin the field now. So we bet $12. We get one caller, and the other two fold. Turn's great. It's an ace. We've hit our straight. On first act, I go ahead and bet out $20, and he quickly makes the call. The river comes, it's an 8, and I bet out just $25. Pretty small bet. Again, I just got to this table. I've only been here for maybe one or two hands, and wasn't really sure, you know, how much I was going to get a call here, if you would have figured I had the straight or whatnot. So, and he makes the call pretty quickly, and we take that one down. It doesn't show his hand. So, yeah, ace high straight within the, like I said, 2 or 3 hands of the new table. I think we've turned it around. This is good, and we're feeling pretty good about our table change at this point in time. The next hand, we're in the cutoff. There's one limper. We look down at ace 10. We make a raise up to $12. The limper makes the call. We go to a flop of ace king 4. He checks. I go ahead and make a bet of $15. He calls. The turn is an ace. He checks again. I go ahead and want to bet at this because I'm assuming at this point he probably has a king in his hand, and he's not going to believe I have an ace, I would hope. So I'm going to bet out, even though I've hit a pretty strong hand here, 3 aces with a 10 kicker. So I make a bet of $30, and he makes the call. The river's a 6. He checks one more time. I want to get a little bit of value out of this. I only bet $50. In hindsight, probably could have bet a little bit more since he did call the 15 and the 30. So obviously he has a little bit of interest in this hand, and it's very possible. I mean, unlikely, but it is possible. He has the last ace with just a worse kicker. If he had a better kicker, I believe he'd erase me at this point in time. But yeah, so I make a bet of $50, and he only calls, which is good news. He doesn't have, you know, a full house. I show my ace 10. He says, "You're good. I have a worse kicker." I may have left a little money behind on that, but yeah, I mean, that's okay. We take the pot down and we're good with that. Okay, so the next hand in the big blind, it was folded around to the button, who raised up to $12. We looked at an ace queen. We re-raised up to $45. The button makes the call. The flop comes out jack 9-6. We go ahead and bet out $55. The button folds face up, showing ace queen, and we fold our hand face up, showing ace queen, and take that one down. He muttered a little bit, but you know, it's good for the game, right? Next hand, we're sitting in the hijack position. The same player that we just had last hand against. He raises it up to $10. We look down at king 10 of diamonds. We just make the call here. There's no other people limped in the pot. It's possible when the blinds may come along, but they just left us alone. We've been the two more aggressive players at the table, so nobody called that. We go to a flop of 8-4 deuce with 2 diamonds. So not a bad flop at all. He checks. We go ahead and bet out. We're going to bet this hand all day, and we put $15 out there. He comes over the top, makes it 75. My initial thought is he's trying to get back at me here for the ace-queen hand and just take it down, that he could have, you know, perhaps an overpair or just, you know, an ace-king type of hand this time around. So he makes it 75. I push right back. I make it 175. Remember, at the top of the video I said we're in Arizona. Spread limit, highest bet you can make is $100. So I make it 175. I thought this might just make it done. He actually sits and thinks for a second. And I'm thinking I did good. You know, I made the right call. And he re-raises me to 275. And now I know I've stepped in it. More likely he has high over a pair, possibly 3/8 here. And yeah, I'm not overly happy. but not a whole lot I can do. I have 175 already in the middle, plus the $10 pre-flop bet, and I only have 147 back at this point in time. So I just make the call. I look down, I only have 47 behind, and so I just throw the 47 in blind. He calls. The turn is a king, and the river is a 9 of diamonds. We hit our flush on the river. I show my hand. He shows pocket 8s for a flopped set. So we got there. We knew we were behind. As soon as he re-raised the second time, we knew we were behind and had to catch up. But yeah, we'll take it down, no matter how it falls, I guess. All right, so one hand, we did get pocket aces later in the evening, so we weren't. I wasn't recording anymore at this time. So we go ahead and make it $10 under the gun. Under the gun plus 1 makes 18, which would be a min raise, an $8 raise. So it makes $18. It folds around to the button, and the button makes it $40. We go ahead and re-raise to 140. Under the gun plus 1 folds. The button calls. She's all in. She has less than 140, probably by the $100 range total. And we're off to a flop of ace, deuce, 6, followed by a jack. River's an 8. We take it down with pocket aces, 3 of a kind on the flop, and she shows pocket queens. So that one kind of played itself through, I guess, pretty standard since she was short stacked. Okay, a little bit later in the evening, and again, we're not recording at this point in time. We're in the small blind. There was a limper. The button goes ahead and raises to $12, and we look down at 5 deuce. Again, not something I advocate playing all the time. I don't play 5 deuce every time I have it, but it's late in the night. Let's have a little bit of fun. So I go ahead and make the call to $12. Big blind calls, the limper calls. So there are 4 ways to a flop of jack, deuce, 4 with 2 diamonds. I check, big blind bets out $20. There's 40 some in the pot. 48, almost 50 bucks in the pot. He bets $20, folds around to me, and I make a raise. I mean, obviously I'm not going to call here. I think he's just making a play, and I thought, you know what, I just want to take it down, win with my 5 deuce and be good with it. So I raised it to $60 here. Unfortunately, he makes the call pretty quickly, so we've kind of stepped in it, and we've got $72 wrapped up in this 5 deuce hand with a pair of deuces and a 5 kicker. The turn is a good one in the standpoint, it's a 3rd diamond hits the board. It's a 7, puts a 3rd diamond out there, and I check and he checks back. So the diamond slowed him down considerably, and we get to do a river, which is good for us. It puts out a 5 of hearts. We've now 2-paired our 5 deuce, and we go ahead and check though, and he checks back. We show 5 deuce. He mucks, not happy obviously, and hey, you know what? I'll take it down. 5 deuce wins, and we're happy with that. Yeah, so that'll wrap up this session over here at Wild Horse Pass in Chandler, Arizona. We had a really good time. Put in a pretty long session. Not a ton to show for it, but we had a good time, met some people, got to get some information about the vlog out there, and yeah, we just had a good time all in all. I'd like to send some shouts out to some new people I met. Obviously, I got a lot of friends out in Arizona, and got to play with them. Yes, we got to play with Mark from Kansas City. It was great playing with you, Mark. He checked out the channel, and appreciate that. We played with Angel from El Mirage right here, not too far away from Wild Horse Pass. She was a blast to play with. And we had Brian all the way from Alaska, so he came quite a ways. And Larry, who actually goes by Trey, who actually ends up being almost my neighbor out in Las Vegas. So I ended up playing some people in Vegas out here in Arizona. So no, we had a good time out here at Wild Horse Pass. And yeah, come check it out. We'll definitely be back when we're in town. And once we wrapped up our hand histories session, we headed over to a little restaurant in Tempe, Arizona called Cotton and Copper. Fantastic place that has local Arizona ingredients. They have a unique menu, local Arizona ales, and homemade cocktails. I had this black walnut bourbon glazed chicken with the heirloom soup. It was a fantastic sandwich, wild blackberry sauce and fresh jalapenos. And she had the roasted cauliflower and corn ribs. If you get a chance, go check it out in Tempe on Warner Road. Cotton and Copper. So again, thanks for coming out, watching the vlog. We're having a good time. Again, thanks for checking it out. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we'll have new and better content coming as 2020 comes our way. Got some ideas to put some different vlogs out there. So we're looking for 2020 to be a big year and get that subscriber count up and get some good videos out to you guys. So please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I have new videos coming out. All right, well, thanks again, and we'll see you at the tables. The limper comes along. The flop is ace king. The flopper comes along. The flopper,